I just did before this one, because I was sitting there like, God damn it, I just want to know what happens. I like to play the game with you guys, like release a part, and then if you know that I'm on that part, you know that's where I stopped. But not this time. I needed to play it. It might even be out the same day as the last part. I don't even care. I'm going to keep playing, because I want to know what happens after the... The landlady leaves after resetting the smoke alarm. Satisfied it was only burning poultry that caused it to go off. No, it's so ruined. Why? I can probably salvage the pasta and the sauce, but the chicken has got to be thrown out. It's hard as a rock on one side. I glance toward the hallway as I finish up cleaning. I wonder if Zoe's no longer in my room. I look across the hall to find her bedroom door firmly shut. Oh. That's right. I was taking advantage of my sister. My younger sister, mind you. Need I remind you. I pushed her down on my bed and... a wave of nausea washes over me. Slumping against my bed, I steady myself as what I've done replays over and over in my mind. Well, you were just kind of trying to help her. It was kind of escalating into something else, but it's fine. The next morning, I'm up early. Or rather, I wasn't able to sleep. I anxiously await Zoe to come out of her room while I check my math problems. Finally, she emerges from her bedroom, looking ready for school. Should I be chipper? Okay, what do I say? Don't make an idiot of yourself, Iris. Just, morning! Both Zoe and I cringe at the sound of my voice, which I strung like a tight rope. Zoe rubs her temples. Oh, God, my neck hurts. Your neck? I must have slept on it wrong. Ugh. I don't even remember coming home last night. You don't remember last night at all? Literally nothing at all? Huh. Zoe shrugs and slumps down at the table with her head in her hands. She looks absolutely miserable, but I'm too caught up in the good news. Zoe doesn't remember! Yes! Well, would you like me to make you something? I could probably do eggs and toast. That's something that anyone could do. No, honestly, if you could just be quiet, I'd prefer that. Oh, right, hangover. I continue to poke around the calculus handout, my eyes constantly straying to Zoe, rubbing her temples. Is this the infamous hangover? This is why we don't drink. There's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't drink in the first place, but because you don't need to drink to have fun, buddies. Just throwing that out. I'm back! I call out, the fatigue in my voice evident as I return home. Usually I head straight home from school, so I arrive while it's still light outside and with plenty of time to spare before dinner. Today, however, I stopped by the library on my way back. I wanted to do some research of my own on genetic testing without Zoe knowing. Unfortunately, my research was, well, crap. I didn't understand most of what I read, and what I did understand was not helpful. In the end, all I managed to do was delay my return. Well, look who finally decided to show up. Who's the delinquent now, Zoe smirks as she greets me in her own way. She's standing in the kitchen and appears to be preparing to make dinner. Oh, hush. I had something important to do, okay? You're still the queen of late-night returns. Besides, I wasn't the one drinking last night. And don't you forget it. As quickly as our conversation started, Zoe and I both go quiet. God, we're so awkward. Neither one of us is sure what to say next. Pleasantries and banter appear to be the only safe route open to either one of us. The topic I actually want to know more about is one I would never dare to bring up. Well, I guess I'll put my stuff away and take a shower. I'll be back in a minute to help out with dinner. All right, then. Zoe turns back to the kitchen and begins to grab ingredients from the refrigerator. The feeble attempts at conversation doesn't bother her in the least, nor does she feel the need to talk about anything more pressing. Zoe, we need to talk, about last night. Oh no, what are you doing, woman? We were had an out! Just as Zoe began to cut into a tomato, she freezes. What about it? You know what? The way you were acting last night, right before you disappeared. What was that about? Zoe's hands remain motionless. She keeps her eyes on the cutting board in front of her, showing no sign of turning to face me. You really don't remember, huh? I was just drunk. Don't overthink it. Were you really? That's what I said. I stare holes into the back of Zoe's head as she remains frozen in place. If that's the case, then why did you leave? Uh-huh. Finally, Zoe moves. She quickly turns her head to face me, staring at me with her mouth and eyes wide open. In response, I instinctively avert my gaze. I mean, you practically dragged me into the bedroom. Why weren't you there when I came back? Iris, are you saying that you... I don't know. I just don't know, okay? I don't know what to make of any of this. I can feel my face heat up as I fight back tears. I just don't understand. What is it that you want from me, Zoe? Do you want an older sister? A friend? Or... Zoe knits her eyebrows and closes her mouth. She glares at me intensely, filled with what I can only interpret as anger. You're right. You just don't understand. Or perhaps it would be more accurate to say you don't want to understand. That's not true. I do want to... No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't be torturing yourself like this. You're needlessly working yourself up into a frenzy. Just stop worrying so much. Stop worrying? That's your solution? Don't be absurd. I'm talking about our future together. Of course I'm going to worry. One day you shrug me off, the next you try to kiss me. You're the queen of mixed signals, and it's driving me nuts. Do you hate me? Do you love me? Am I your sister or the target of your affection? The way I see it, our lives are changing way too quickly. And the only way I can deal with that is by knowing exactly what kind of path I'm heading down. So either enlighten me, or end this right now. I finally take a deep breath as I try to regain my bearings. God damn, my face is hot, and I can feel my fists shaking by my sides. I don't even know what I'm trying to say or do anymore. All I want is the peace of mind to figure it all out before I completely lose it. I see. So that's how you feel about all this. Sorry to have worried you. Zoe calmly walks towards me. She places her hands on my shoulders and tightens her grip. I try to back away, only to find the kitchen table behind me. But I'm not the only one here who misunderstood the other's feelings. So don't hold this against me. Hold on. Yes! It happened! Yes! The payoff! Before I can finish speaking, Zoe covers my lips with her own. She moves one hand from my shoulder to my face, gently running her fingers across my skin as her entire body overlaps mine. I struggle to free myself, but my feeble resistance quickly proves useless. Zoe has me pinned down on the table, using her entire body weight to keep mine in place. Panic and confusion set in, and I continue in my attempt to free myself. With no place to retreat, I push forward, trying to overpower Zoe. That ain't gonna work. In response, Zoe lifts me off my feet and pushes me further down on the table. I can no longer reach the floor, and when I try to move, Zoe's thigh rubs against my crotch. Zoe releases my lips for a moment and stares into my eyes. To my surprise, what I see in that split second is not a gaze of a predator. Zoe's not reveling in her domination of her older sister, nor is she celebrating her display of control. As I looked into those eyes, all I saw was the warmth and affection I dared to seek within my little sister's heart. Zoe... I let out a brief moan as Zoe moves forward, unintentionally rubbing her thigh against my crotch. Or is it intentional? In the next moment, our lips are locked once more, and I cannot say another word. I put my arms down and stop struggling. Zoe's breasts push against mine, as her body relaxes. Even though through our clothes I can feel her heart beating every bit as quickly as mine. Despite her cool countenance, Zoe is nervous, perhaps just as nervous as me. But unlike me, Zoe isn't afraid to take action. Even without knowing the future, she can confidently take the next step forward. At that moment, I finally understand how Zoe feels. I press my lips against Zoe's own with a vigor I didn't know was inside me. Her eyes widen and then close again as I passionately return her kiss. All my frustration, my pent-up desires, and the relief of finally knowing she feels the same way, all those things find their way into my desperate kiss. Her soft lips part, and I mirror her, parting my own. I feel something wet and soft dart into my mouth. Oh my. Our tongues meet only for a moment, but my body reacts to Zoe's boldness with a surge of arousal between my thighs. I'm currently being pressed beneath my sister's lean, beautiful body as I find pleasure from her grinding against me. My skirt hitches up all the way now, leaving only my panties as a barrier between her smooth, firm thighs. The contact of her body and the mind-numbing effects of her tongue exploring my mouth cause a tiny, pleasurable spasm between my legs. Just as I wonder if Zoe noticed it, I feel her shudder and deepen the kiss, grinding her body against me with renewed force. I clutch at her sweater, her back, anything to ground myself as my mind slips further into a haze of excitement and rapid heartbeats. Breathing heavily and with eyes half lidded, Zoe pulls away. After